There will absolutely, for sure, be another one in this century. There may be more than one. They may be much more dangerous. With our approach, very inexpensive, perfect protection may be achieved.
The nation sits down with Professor Roger David Kornberg, Nobel Laureate in Chemistry, to explore the ways he believes can prevent another pandemic from occurring in the world ever again. So you are in Thailand for the Japan-ASEAN Bridges series event?
Yes.
And you'll be talking to all this next generation of scientists.
I look forward.
And I saw that part of the thing you prepared to talk to them is like climate change, the solution for energy, generation and consumption, and also, this is very interesting, how to prepare to not having a pandemic again. Is it possible though?
So we have developed means by which we can prevent any future pandemic, and should someone fall ill with the disease because they are unprotected, then cure it immediately. What we are able to do is provide an inhaler whereby an individual with one administration in each of their nostrils will be immediately perfectly protected from disease.
But that requires a lot of awareness to general public and also cooperation from all the nations around the world, right?
So
it's like if
it will not require cooperation from any other nation if one country or even one city provides anyone who enters with a small bottle which costs very little to spray once in their nose, right, then there will be no disease in the city or in the country.
In that case, people have to be, generally, people have to be quite, what's it called, health literate in, or if I have this symptom, I have to start doing this and that.
Everyone will be provided with a small bottle to inhale.
Right.
Everyone who uses it is protected. Those who refuse to use it may get sick. It's unlikely that anyone would not wish to do this because it is not a vaccine, it is not an injection, it is not a pill to swallow, it is simply a nasal spray that you use only once and then you achieve perfect protection.
But there can be only one solution of any kind of disease that can potentially be pandemic.
So any respiratory viral disease, any virus that can enter the nose and the lungs can cause a pandemic of the kind that has occurred with influenza in the past, and now with SARS-CoV-2. There have been 4 influenza pandemics in the last century. There will absolutely, for sure, be another one in this century. There may be more than one. They may be much more dangerous. The current bird flu, which has occasionally passed to humans, has a mortality rate of almost 60%, much more dangerous than any previous influenza. Should that achieve widespread infection in humans, then the consequences would be devastating. With our approach, very inexpensive, perfect protection may be achieved. I doubt if there's anyone faced with the likelihood of death from a very dangerous pandemic virus would refuse just to spray once in their nose and protect themselves. But if they do, or if they don't, makes no difference to you or me because we will do so and we are protected.
But that's also mean if we want this to really work, like prevent the future pandemic like we are hoping for, it's mean that we have to be able to convince the decision maker in, I don't know, cities, governments and whatnot to make sure that people are aware of this, or?
So what is necessary is for the government to put in place the infrastructure for rapid production for any new virus. The infrastructure is relatively simple. These are commercially available machines. Production of the drug is automatic. It is rapid, so when a new virus appears, as you may know, we have the capacity today and always within hours after it first arises, the genome sequence of the virus will be determined. Knowledge of the genome sequence is all we require to program the machine to produce this medication for the new virus. The machine will produce the medication in a matter of minutes. With a sufficient number of these machines in place, the government would be in a position within a matter of a day or two or three to distribute millions of small bottles at the cost of a few dollars each to everyone in the country, everyone interested, willing, anyone who would like to protect themselves. In that case, there will be no pandemic.
So this capability that we realize we have, is it because of what we deal with COVID-19 before?
No, the capability has nothing to do with COVID-19. It has to do with a method, an approach to therapy that was discovered about 30 years ago and for which the Nobel Prize was given in the same year as I received in chemistry, and that award was in medicine or physiology. The limitation was the therapeutic approach suffered from one limitation. The drug could be made, but it would not enter human cells.
Oh.
What we discovered in Israel in a company that I founded a few years ago, how to solve that problem so the drug will enter human cells.
Okay.
So now what we produce on the machine is the drug with a small change that enables entry to human cells, and that is the solution of the problem. So we have this capacity now. The current limitation is only to gain approval from regulatory agencies. That is always the slowest step in developing a new drug because regulatory agencies are very conservative.
Where do you see will be the first country or territory that actually will be receptive to this idea?
I'm not sure. So I have discussed this with the government of China, with the government of the United States, with the government of the Emirates, and the government of Israel, and all are interested, all wish to pursue it, but again, there is bureaucracy.
Right.
And even something so important takes time.
How long you have been presenting this idea to
Actually,
all
I
these
began
governments?
with the government in the UK a year ago,
Okay.
and they've moved very, very slowly.
As normal government.
At a normal government pace, yes.
So right now, you're about to do some tests in human. So how do you foresee the process? How long it's going to be until?
I hope that within a year we may receive regulatory approval there. And there's a good chance that we could expedite the process in the United States.
Right. Once it's got approval in Israel.
I think so.
Right.
I think so.
Interesting. But then it will become the question of economy of scale, maybe cost effective or no?
So I think if you compare this drug with the only existing medication for SARS-CoV-2, which is called Paxlovid, made by Pfizer, the cost of this drug is 100 times less, and it is exactly 100 times more effective. Paxlovid cannot cure the disease, it will only reduce the symptoms. And when someone stops using Paxlovid, the disease comes back. The drug I have mentioned will cure the disease. It will eliminate the virus from your system
So
within a few days.
right now in the lab setting, it looked like it worked.
So in it's not only in a lab setting, but in trials that we conducted in non-human primates, in monkeys. So in the past, most trials of drugs have been done in rats, mice, dogs. They have a respiratory system somewhat different from humans. Monkeys, of course, are almost exactly the same as humans. And although trials in monkeys are very difficult and expensive, experience has shown that what works in mice or rats may not work in people, but what works in monkeys is almost always effective in humans.
So everything go as planned. Chances that this drug will be approved in Israel within a year.
I think there's a chance that it will be approved in Israel within a year, because I believe that we can complete phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1, proof of safety. Phase 2, a proof of efficacy. And then the regulator with a sufficiently convincing phase 2 result may already allow the use of the drug. There may be a phase 3 trial after that, depending on the results from phase 2.
Because you know for sure if there is going to be another pandemic, it will be virus. So if whatever it is, the virus will turn out or mutate or change to be, this thing will work.
Yes.
How do you know it will work?
Because the mechanism is well understood. It is a mechanism which exists in every cell of our bodies, and it is only necessary to supply the drug, which consists of a very small piece of RNA that exactly matches the sequence of the viral genome. When that match occurs, it always works.
So with the available technology, and hopefully the governments around the world will give this drug a nod after it's become proven successful, hopefully we'll have some kind of prevention for future pandemics.
So this approach is adopted by governments, and in particular if they prepare, so they are ready, and the moment a new virus of concern arises, they literally push the buttons, entering in the machine the viral genome sequence. What will be produced is, as I have said, a small piece of RNA that is an exact match to the viral genome sequence that we, through the small addition that we have done, achieves entry into human cells. And when sprayed in the nostrils, it will enter every one of the cells that line the nasal passages and also the additional passageway to the lungs. And then all of those cells are immune to infection. And so the virus, although it may enter because we inhale and breathe the virus, cannot infect our cells.
Very interesting. The only one thing that comes into my head is that if anything will slow it down, will probably be politics.
That's always the issue. It's always the issue. Science in general can provide new knowledge, discoveries of potential benefit. Sometimes the discoveries also carry potential risks. But always at the end, it is not the scientists, but the society and the politics of the society to exploit a potential benefit or control against a possible risk. In this case, there are no risks. There is no potential danger. There is no way that this could be used to cause harm.
Well, I am sure we'll hear more from you about this probably in next short
I hope so.
year or something.
I hope so.
Thank you very much for the conversation today. It was very
Pleasure.
exciting.
Great.
Thank you.
Glad to talk with you.